Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Friday, January 14th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be going over a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate. It is a 9-game slate overall, and then talking about my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for tonight as well. But without further ado, we'll get into yesterday's picks and see how they turned out. So we're going to start off on the DraftKings side. We had Dennis Smith Jr. at the point guard position, $4,000. Looking for 20 points on him. He got to 33, so he was a really good hit yesterday. Then my boy Ben McLemore at shooting guard, $4,200. Looking for 21 points on him. He got to 32.75, so he was a really good hit as well. Then at small forward, we had Kessler Edwards, $3,600. Looking for 18 points on him. He got to 13.5. He was a miss yesterday. Only ended up playing 25 minutes and really just scored the ball. Not a lot of other stats, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, anything like that. And then at power forward, we had Giannis at $12,300. Looking for about 61, 62 points on him. He got to 69.5, so he was a hit as well. And then last but not least, we had Day'Ron Sharpe for the Brooklyn Nets. Started at center last night, $3,300. Looking for 16, 17 points on him. He got to 14.5. He was a miss, but he only ended up playing 20 minutes in this game. It's kind of a weird game for the Nets overall. Thought maybe Edwards and Sharpe would be pretty good, since they're young players. Maybe they want to give them some run, but end up in a blowout, and some of the bench guys that haven't been playing as much did all right yesterday, so kind of hurt them overall. But regardless, 3 out of 5 on the DraftKings side. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Dennis Smith Jr. once again, $4,400, looking for 22 points on him. He got to 33.4, so he was a hit once again. Ben McLemore, $4,100, looking for 21 points on him. He got to 33.2, so once again, a very good hit. And then Kessler Edwards, $3,600, the exact same price on both sites. He had 14.4. On the FanDuel side, he was a miss. We already talked about the reasons why on the DraftKings side. Same thing with Day'Ron Sharpe, who was $4,500, looking for 23 points on him. He got to 14.7, so he was a miss as well. And then last but not least, we had Bobby Portis, $6,200, looking for 31 points on him. He got to 32.4, so he was a hit yesterday. So 3 out of 5 on both sites. The 2 misses that we had were the same 2 misses exactly on both sites. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries in play for tonight's slate. So once again, it is a 9-game slate. It's starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So it looks like we got 4 games starting right away at 7 o'clock. And we're going to start off with the Toronto Raptors, who are without Goran Dragic, and then Gary Trent and Scotty Barnes, both listed as questionable. Gary Trent did not end up practicing yesterday. I think it's probably safe to assume both these guys do end up getting rolled out at some point today. Then for the Detroit Pistons, they're without Jeremy Grant, Frank Jackson, Isaiah Livers, and Kelly Olynyk. Rodney McGruder is questionable to play. He was a part of that Bol trade that got voided now since Bol did not pass his physical. Then for the Phoenix Suns, they are without Frank Kaminsky, Abdul Nader, and Dario Saric. Then Cam Johnson's questionable to play, and Isaiah Wainwright is listed as a game-time decision as well. For the Pacers, they're without T.J. McConnell and T.J. Warren. Torrey Craig and Malcolm Brogdon are both questionable to play tonight. Obviously, Brogdon's the big one just because he's had that Achilles soreness. Missed a lot of games between that and the COVID list. He came back the last time, didn't play a lot of minutes, so we'll see if he plays tonight or not. Maybe they give him a day off and see if it helps out or not. But regardless, probably not somebody I want to play just because he could have a minutes limit once again. Then for the Boston Celtics, Marcus Smart is questionable to play once again. He missed the last time out. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, and Danny Green are all out. So Danny Green's the newest one there at this point in time. Then we move down to the Orlando Magic, who are without Wendell Carter, Michael Carter-Williams, Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and Etuan Moore. And then Mo Bamba is questionable as well. So obviously we had the Wendell Carter news already. We'll see if Bamba plays. He's missed the past 2 games, I do believe now. But they do get Jalen Suggs back tonight. Then for the Charlotte Hornets, they are without Kai Jones and Kelly Oubre, so nothing crazy there. Kelly Oubre's been out for a couple games now. Kai Jones missed the last time out as well. For the Golden State Warriors, they are without Draymond Green, Gary Payton II, Klay Thompson, and James Wiseman. So obviously the big ones there are going to be Gary Payton II and Klay Thompson as the 2 newest ones. Jordan Poole probably back in that starting lineup once again, looking like a pretty good value overall on tonight's slate. Then for the Bulls, they're without Alex Caruso, Tyler Cook, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr., and Patrick Williams. So Derrick Jones Jr. is obviously the most recent one. We'll see how that affects the starting lineup overall. There's going to be somebody entering it, whether it's Troy Brown, whether it's Kobe White, whether it's somebody else. That's kind of the question for the day, and one of those guys could end up being a pretty good value on tonight's slate. Then for the Atlanta Hawks, they're without Clint Capella once again. Jalen Johnson is doubtful to play, and Kevin Huerter is listed as questionable. Then for the Miami Heat, they're without Bam Adebayo, Marcus Garrett, Markieff Morris, KZ Okpala, and Victor Oladipo. And then Jimmy Butler listed as questionable. We'll see if he's finally back today or not. For the Cavaliers, they're without Isaac Okoro once again. Rajon Rondo is questionable to play with a hamstring injury. He did miss the last time out, so I wouldn't be surprised if he misses once again today. Then for the Spurs, they're without Zach Collins and Trey Jones. Derek White is questionable to play, and Drew Eubanks is probable at this point in time. Then moving down to the Houston Rockets, they're without John Wall once again, and then Sengun is questionable to play, so nothing too new there. For the Sacramento Kings, they're without Damon Jones and Robert Woodard. Richaun Holmes is questionable to play for tonight, and then Tristan Thompson listed as a game-time decision as well. For the Dallas Mavericks, they're without Willie Cauley-Stein and Kristaps Porzingis once again, so no changes there at all. And then for the Memphis Grizzlies, Dylan Brooks, Yves Pons, and Killian Tilly are all listed as out, and Steven Adams is questionable to play. He's been questionable the past 2 days, so we'll see if he ends up playing today or not. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Going to be quite a few that we're looking out for throughout the day, especially some of these questionable tags. We'll see if anything else pops up throughout the day, but as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates, COVID news, and starting lineups down in the comments below. So definitely be sure to check that out throughout the day and as we get closer to lock. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position. I got Jordan Poole, $5,000, looking for 25 points out. I'm got projected for 26 points tonight. He should be back in that starting lineup with no Klay Thompson and Gary Payton once again tonight. Should be playing decent sizable minutes going against the Chicago Bulls team. Should be a pretty decent matchup as well. So Jordan Poole, definitely interested in him tonight. Then at shooting guard, we got Cody Martin, $4,000. Just kind of a cheap price here. You're looking for about 20 points out. He's averaging almost 22 on the season. Got him projected for about 20, 21 points tonight. Just looking like a solid, good value early on tonight's slate. Then at small forward, we're going to go with DeAndre Hunter. He's been a major disappointment for the Hawks in terms of a real-life player. But, when you're a guy that's going to get sizable minutes at $3,400, looking for 17 points out, I'm currently having projected for 19 points. Looks like a pretty good pay-down option early on tonight. Then at power forward, we have PJ Washington, $4,700, looking for 23, 24 points out. I'm averaging 25 on the season. Currently have him projected for about 26, 27 points tonight. Definitely looking like a pretty good cheap price tag for PJ Washington overall on tonight's slate. Then last but not least, we have Christian Wood at the center position, $7,400. Price tag that's just a little bit too cheap at this point in time. Looking for 37 points out. I'm essentially averaging 37 points on the season. Currently having projected for 38, 39 points tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the DraftKings side, you have $25,500 remaining. $8,500 per player. So if you want to pay up for a stud, potentially 2 studs, you can do so and then find another value option. Or if you want to take a little more balanced approach, that's perfectly acceptable as well, especially on a 9-game slate like we have tonight. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So at the point guard position, we got LaMelo Ball, $8,000, looking for 40 points out, averaging about 42.5 on the season so far. He's had, a little stretch here where he hasn't been quite as good, but I still have him projected for about 41, 42 points tonight. Definitely looking like a pretty good value overall. Should be a favorable matchup against the Orlando Magic as well. Then shooting guard, we're going right back to Jordan Poole, who I did have on the DraftKings side as well. $5,100, looking for 25, 26 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 26 points once again tonight. There is no Gary Payton Jr., no Klay Thompson. Should be back in that starting lineup. Should be playing sizable minutes once again for Jordan Poole tonight. Then small forward, I got OG Anunoby, and he is $6,200. Looking like a pretty good value for tonight's slate. You're looking for about 31 points out of him, averaging 33 on the season. Potentially no Scotty Barnes and Gary Trent once again tonight. OG Anunoby is somebody that I do like quite a bit. And going against the Detroit Pistons should be another favorable matchup as well. Currently having him projected for 32 points tonight. Then at power forward, we're going right back to Christian Wood, who was our center option on the DraftKings side, $7,200. Price tag that's probably a little bit too cheap at this point in time. Looking for 36 points out. I'm going to project for about 37, 38 points tonight. Then last but not least, we're going right back to Okongwu at that center position. No Clint Capella once again tonight. $3,900, looking for 19, 20 points out. Currently having projected for about 21, 22 points tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you have $29,600 remaining, $7,400 per player. So you probably spend up for 1 stud if you want to do so, or just take a little bit more balanced approach, which is something that's been working very well so far on the FanDuel side this season. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, January 14th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. Heck, if you want to talk some Super Draft, we can talk some Super Draft as well. JC Money Design and myself will be doing the live stream for the Super Draft main slate once again tonight. So if you're into Super Draft at all, if you're into NBA DFS on Super Draft, if you're brand new, you just want to learn a little bit about Super Draft, you want to learn about some of the injuries, some players in play. And then as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates, COVID news, and starting lineups down in the comments, as well as my updated core about a half hour to 30 minutes prior to lock. If there's any changes in between that time and the lock time, I'll list those as well. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers. helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. As we get closer to NFL draft season, going to be talking some NFL draft prospects as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who is yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.